This video demonstrates how to overload the constructor. We have a program that builds a database of people. I'll run that program, and we can see we're outputting 4 people. For example, Tina is a 47-year-old plumber, and this is using the class person. Okay, in the class person we have a constructor, and that constructor assigns the value none to the first name, 0 to the age, and none to the occupation. Now what I might like to do, such as for person 1, is I'd like to be able to initialize the values to Tina, 47, and plumber for the first name, age, and occupation, instead of to the values of none, 0, and none. So here's how we do that. We're going to create another constructor called person, just like the first constructor, but this time we're going to change the arguments. Previously there were no arguments. Now we're going to add in 3 arguments: first name, age, and the occupation. Second thing we need to do is define that function. So this function, person, is from the class person and has 3 parameters. The first name is the first parameter, fn. The age gets the second parameter, and this class's occupation gets the third parameter. Alright, let's compile, see how we're doing. Good so far. Nothing's changed other than we've created this second constructor. And now what I'm going to do is initialize person 1 to have Tina's information. But the other people will be initialized to the default. So let's compile and see how this works. So we have the right output. Tina is 47-year-old plumber, and we used the second constructor, the one we just built, in order to store that information. Whereas if we looked at the second person's information without assigning values, so I'm commenting out that line of code where we assign values to the second person, let's see what that looks like. It is back to the default, the constructor that has no parameters. And that's how we can overload the constructor. So we could add in an additional constructor, which may be useful if we just wanted to pass in the first name, just as a quick example here. And this would look like from the class person scope operator, and then the name of the class, and that tells us it's a constructor. And we're only passing in the first name in this case, and so the age would be 0, like when we pass in no parameters, and the occupation will be none because we haven't passed in an occupation yet, but we have passed in the first name, so we've assigned the first name. Okay, and so for person 2, let's pass in the string Frank. Take a look at how that is. Compile, and then we have Frank is a 0-year-old none, and that is because with the constructor for person 2, for Frank, we're using the constructor that expects only a string, which is this constructor, and in that constructor we use that string and store it into the first name. Then we just assign the value of age 0 and the occupation none. Thank you.